Police blow up a man's house, chasing after a $50 Walmart shoplifter. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today on NPR.org. Well. The big po-po, the police. Guess what they did this time? Look at this headline. Police owe nothing to man whose home they blew up. Appeals court says. So this is a homeowner. He owned a rather expensive piece of property. And as you can see in the background here, the police absolutely obliterated his home. All because they were chasing some shoplifter who had hidden in his home. The appeals courts say, they owe him nothing. He's not going to get reimbursed for all this damage. Ridiculous. But before we look into this story, a word from our sponsor, unsilencedvoice.com. It's a social media platform that promotes free speech. There are different communities that you can subscribe to based on the type of content that you're interested in. Unsilencedvoice.com. There's a link in the description. Join today. So here we have the homeowner. His name is Leo Lech. Stands on a pile of wood in his neighbor's yard, which overlooks the back of his former home in Greenwood Village, Colorado. In 2015, the home was destroyed by the police. In 2015, the home was destroyed by the police during a standoff with a criminal and has since been razed and rebuilt. On Tuesday, a federal appeals court ruled that the city does not owe Lech any compensation. So even though they absolutely obliterated his home, they're ruling that the city doesn't owe him crap. Absolute nonsense. An armed shoplifting suspect in Colorado barricaded himself in a stranger's suburban Denver home in June 2015. In an attempt to force the suspect out, law enforcement blew up walls with the explosive, fired tear gas, and drove a military-styled armored vehicle through the property doors. A military-style armored vehicle. You know, this reminds me of those NyanCat memes when McDonald's McTank breaks down your door because you didn't pay for your Big Mac. After an hours-long siege, the home was left shredded with walls and blown-out windows. In some part of the interior, the wood framing was exposed amid a mountain of debris. They literally blew up his house. They rammed his front door with an armored vehicle, and the court is ruling, oh, they don't owe you anything. You ever wonder why people hate cities and bureaucrats and police? A federal appeals court in Denver ruled this week that the homeowner who had no connection to the suspect isn't entitled to be compensating because the police were acting to preserve the safety of the public. Let me ask you a question. How much money do you think they spent on those explosives, on the armored vehicle, on all those men, versus how much the criminal actually stole? They could have stole something like $50 from Walmart, hide in a house, and then they cause countless amounts of property damage and waste so much taxpayer money. Explosives are not cheap, my friends. What the heck were they thinking? The safety of the public, yeah. They don't know if there's a hostage in the house. They don't know if there's anybody else in the house. Let's just blow it up. Really? That's insane to me. And it's even more insulting that they don't want to pay for the damage they caused. You know, it's shit like this that makes The Incredibles realistic. You remember in The Incredibles where all the heroes were getting sued because of all the property damage? Where's the lawsuit here? Under no circumstances in this country should the government be able to blow up your house and render a family homeless. Leo Lech, the house's owner, told NPR. This family was thrown out into the street without any recourse. I agree with you, buddy. Someone should pay. Lawyers for Lech argued that the police destruction of his home was a violation of the Constitution's taking clause, which says private property cannot be taken for public use without just compensation. But the problem with the argument the appeals court ruled is that the courts have long held that the police cannot be on the hook for property damage caused in the process of trying to make an arrest. That's such bull. That's such obvious bull. This is why people hate the police. You know, among other things. Maybe it's that they're too trigger happy. But this is why people hate the police. This is why people hate the government. You're not respecting people's private property. You don't have a right to blow it up. You don't have a right to ram it with an armored car. I would take away these protections. The police need to be liable for property damage. As it is, America already arrests way too many people. Our prison systems are overcrowded. It's ridiculous. This is excessive force. As unfair as it may seem, the takings clause simply does not entitle all aggrieved owners to recompense, the appeals court wrote. While I do agree that he used a dumb argument, what he should have done was sue for property damage. Sue the city. He might have had much more luck. So the suspect in this case, again, a shoplifter, was taken into custody after a 19-hour standoff. More than 100 officers from agencies around the Denver area responded to the incident. How much money did they spend just to grab a shoplifter? Only in America. Authorities say the suspect stole 2 belts and a shirt from Walmart.
Stop! You have violated the law!
So the cost of a shirt and 2 belts apparently was enough to blow up someone's private property, not give them compensation, and get a bunch of crew and waste. Dude, this entire event probably cost $1 million, if not more. After he left the store, police say he broke into Letch's house for protection and was firing at officers with a handgun. Eventually, SWAT officers entered the home and apprehended him. This is his house. As you can see, they completely and utterly wrecked the place. It is obliterated. God, wow. It looks like a war zone, it really does. So at the time of the episode, Letch was renting the home to his son, John Letch, who lived there with his girlfriend and 9-year-old son and 2 dogs. Typical boomer. They don't leave anything to their kids. They make them rent. Boomer or not, though, we have to have our private property protected, because if this boomer can't have his house protected, neither can anyone else. He spent $400,000 rebuilding the home and $28,000 in legal fees. They gave him $5,000 in compensation. Now, despite how I feel about the boomers, wow, this is not just at all. There needs to be a line drawn for what police departments can do and what they need to do to compensate citizens for this kind of damage, Letch said. I agree. I absolutely agree. He said, I didn't want to sue anyone for millions. Well, that was your first mistake. I just wanted fair market value for my house. You should have sued. Suing is the only language Americans understand. It's like our native dialect. So they're going to appeal to the Supreme Court, see if they're going to review the case. It would be very interesting. In fact, the court stated when police are performing their public safety duties, they cannot be burdened with a condition that they pay for property damage. Well, they should. They should. It's private property. The court noted that if police officers willfully or wantonly destroy property, they can be sued in a civil tort case. That's what he should have done. He tried to pursue that legal argument in Colorado State Court, but was not successful. See, of course, because they're going to protect the police, even when the police do bad things. You know, that's why you have all of these young, insane communists running around. Because they've seen the police get away with stuff like this, and they're mad. I don't blame them for being mad. I think they're idiots, but here's the case. Come on. Whether you call it eminent domain or whatever, you can't be blowing up people's houses, he said. I agree. I absolutely agree. This is ridiculous. Honestly, it's shocking. They blew up his house, and he doesn't get a penny. I think we can safely say, I hope the police never come near my private property. Because, well, they have no respect. I think there needs to be a change in the law. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this story? Do you think they were justified? Do you think they used necessary force to capture this Walmart criminal? He had to be stopped. They had to use a tank. Be sure to let me know. Oh, man. You know, I just learned about P-scores and how YouTube is suppressing everyone. I never got to see my score because I saw the news too late and they already patched it out. Imagine if YouTube was that quick to patch all the bugs with their website. I honestly have no faith in the system anymore. If you check out the links in the description, you'll find my social media, my email, you'll see my Patreon and my subscribe store. If you do join those, you do get access to Fight Club, a private Discord server. There's also PayPal and Bitcoin if you're interested. And of course, sharing these videos because we are being suppressed is probably more important than ever. At any rate, thanks for watching. As always, I'll see you all next time.